Welcome to the Healing Heart podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Donna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. Welcome back, everybody, here to the Healing Heart podcast, and I am your host, Donna Campbell, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. And today I have an exceptional guest I have been waiting so long to, as we've been putting our conversation together. She is a visionary and an epiphany expert with her business ventures, LLD Legacy Media and Publishing, Walk with Lori, and LLD Legacy. Lori brings more than 4 decades of wisdom and experience working in education, therapies, business, and nonprofits. She is a best-selling author and publisher, as well as a multiple international award-winning host and producer on streaming TV. With her own dynamic television appearances on Bravo's Real Housewives of Dallas, Lori understands the reality of how the next chapter of your life may be rewritten at any time. She may now be watched internationally as a TV, as a host on Lighted Up TV. I See You on Zondra TV Network, Roku, Amazon Fire, Comcast, and iTunes. And here's the fun part, you guys. Lori believes in finding the heartstrings in life, releasing the strongholds of fear and living the life God has designed for you. So as a writer for many years and a published author, editor, and frequent media influencer for others, Lori knew her passion would always be in the stories of our lives. So she expanded her mission to publishing with anthologies, compilations, and children's books. And Lori believes we are all seen in our own God-given divine design, and that we have a mission to share it right now within the world. So through all of this, she is a self-service publishing company with writing, editing, illustrating, design, media, and marketing, bringing her passion together for each author. And her newest program is called Wisdom on the Walk. It's a unique anthology plus journey for women to become authors and further their own stories and missions for others. So welcome to the Healing Heart podcast, Lori.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So for you, I want to go a little bit into your background, because you say that you love helping people find the heartstrings in their stories in life and releasing the strongholds of fear. So share with us a little bit how you got to doing that and how your own story has affected you.
I will tell you, it really truly started back working with very young children. I've worked all the way up to college and enjoyed every age, but I felt very called to work with kids that had that emotional challenge, where their family was also part of that dynamic healing. And so I've always felt that I had gifts of a knowing. I am a seer, as well as working on being an ordained prophet right now. And with that, God always gave me this sense of healing that which you can't see, which is your healing heart. And so from that point, I had to put it into something that made sense. So back then, I was able to work with children where they were really acting out some of those deep, deep pains and traumas of their life. So I wanted to find out more and be able to create programming for them so that we could create an effect on their lives and on the lives of their family. So that's where I started.
Yes. And so share how you grew from that and moving into what you do now with all of the writing and sharing of the stories.
Back then, I used writing and literature as a way to transform the healing that was required. And it was such a fabulous way of working with individuals, whether it was the art or the music or the actual writing and sharing of their stories. And so I kept seeing this pattern where I was always able to work with families and adults, and then later started writing books on how to actually do this with children and adults, which got me speaking on numerous stages. So I wrote my first book at around 20 years old, and I was always writing. I have children's books out there, and in our newest book, I tell a lot about my passion and how literature really was an early part of my own personal journey. And so writing has always been there for me. And so now I work with private clients, transforming their journey, and use writing and reflection as part of that process.
So going through the mechanics of it all and part of the journey with it, there had to have been some healing in all of that for you, writing, even at the young age of 20 and putting out some of your own books. So for you, what has writing done for you as you've gone through your own transformations? Because it's one of the ways you help others with their healing. What was part of that process like for you with your own transformation?
I think part of it, and one of the biggest parts, was when my mom passed away, which was about 8 or 9 years ago. And I used writing at that point to put out my book called Step Out, Step Up, Step Forward, How to Walk in Your Purpose, because that's where I was. At that time, I was working with the Real Housewives of Dallas and doing private sessions for many of the women on the show, but then being on the show myself. And it was allowing me to see how helping them heal their own heartstrings and transform through the pain and difficulty allowed me to start writing more about mine. Part of my journey was in losing my mom. That was the last individual that was really in my family. So all of my family had passed. And it was a very much an alone time for me, even though I'm married and I have a great extended family. That wasn't that real closeness of those people that really knew me in my life. I also was adopted. And throughout my life, I always wondered if I would be able to reconnect with some of my family members biologically. Long story short, over COVID, after my mom's passing, God really made this divine intersection.
Oh, wow.
And I was able to reconnect with a biological sister. We are only 11 months apart. We are so much alike. We have very similar gifts. So I wasn't weird anymore because I could have someone that could show me how to understand the gifts that God has given me, of the knowing, of the seeing, of feeling how things were happening, and being able to help others with what was coming next in their life. And so that was a huge awakening for me to be able to now walk in kind of a new experience of who I was as I was helping others and who their identity was laid in, which is so exciting.
Yeah, so share with us, because you talk a lot about rewriting your own story to embrace the reality. And then, of course, we write it so then we get to live it out. What is one or two really great tips you might have for some of the listeners on how to rewrite your own story to create a different reality that you are meant to live. I often say to live the life you love and love the life you live, which is in complete alignment with God, to really live your life on purpose. So what's one or two tips that you can share with
Oh, I
our
love that. Thank you. What I will say is it's being able to journal everything out. It's writing out quotes, it's writing out things that inspire you, and not
Mhm,
be afraid to start writing out things or experiences that you have had in your life that
mhm,
you still have not been able to gain clarity or even comfort in.
mhm.
Because in those moments, God speaks to you. You will start gaining insight. Things will start arising around you to show you the signs that you are on the right track to write just a little bit more. The other thing I would tell you to do, whether it's a trusted friend or whether it's someone like me that does book coaching, is to work with someone. Work
Mhm,
with an accountability partner, work with a best friend, and
mhm,
share and talk about those experiences, because you will start feeling the healing of
mhm,
releasing. I have a quick saying that's called release to receive. If
ooh,
we release even a little bit, we start receiving the goodness that is meant for us. So you
yeah.
can imagine that in our own stories of life, how
Mhm,
that can be such a profound experience for
mhm.
people.
And I have to say that that's right on track, because if you imagine that you are a container, like a cup, and you're completely full, in order to experience more goodness, you do have to let something else go.
Yeah.
And might as well let go of the fear or the anxiety or the things that we've been holding on to really bring in some of more of the good things there. So, how do you take your gifts and your talents that you have and helping others transform within their lives?
One of the things that I do is I do private sessions to help them navigate whatever the experiences that they're going through. I have folks that are really looking at areas of anxiety or depression, but I really love individuals, especially women, that really want to work forwards and transform their life. And
Mhm,
so as I'm working with them, God pours through me. And
mhm,
so I pair my X amount of years of
mhm,
therapeutic work into what God tells me. And so it's why I call it Thera coaching,
mhm,
because it's a blend of both. And so we do that in private sessions. I also have them journaling and doing assignments with me. We also bring women into a community, which is now called Wisdom on the Walk, which
mhm,
is how do you gain more wisdom on the walk of life with other women that have experienced some of the same things. And so during that, we then are able to put those stories into some of the newer books that we are
mhm,
publishing. And we coach one on one all along the way. And we work together as a community. So it's
mhm.
a little bit of group therapy paired
Right.
with individual deeper dive, which
Mhm,
is really what helps us to be able to transform.
mhm. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. Our guest today is Lori Dixon, and we are talking all things healing, from releasing those heartstrings of fear, rewriting your story to reality. And when we come back, we're going to take that sponsor break. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the books that she has published and the new one that is coming out with her newest program, Wisdom on the Walk. So hold on. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. All right, welcome back, everybody, here to the Healing Heart Podcast. And our guest today is Lori Dixon. And so I do want to ask a couple of questions around her program, her books coming out, Wisdom of the Walk. So Lori, share with us a little bit about that.
We are so excited. In 2 weeks, we have a huge book launch. It is all about 12 women that God placed on my heart, literally the names of the 12 women. I thought I was writing one of my new books that I had already started writing chapters in. Instead, he said, oh no, you're going to be joined by 12 of the most profound, amazing women with missions and ministries and businesses and outreach of their own. They have a story to tell that the world needs to hear. And so what we've done is we've taken those 12 women and I've interwoven my stories in between theirs so that we are working on bringing that out. And we have formed the community for other women to be able to join us to hear the collective expertise of these women in their lives too. They can write with us, they can publish with us. We have events and retreats coming this year, but this book is what we are calling a cutting edge anthology plus, because it is not your typical anthology. It is written in a devotional way. It then has reflections. It has coloring pages. It has quotes and scriptures and all sorts of interactive ways for you to become part of the journey with us. And then we're pairing it with the community. So we'll be repeating the same thing in August with another round of women joining us. And we can't wait for that.
Right. So for those that might want to look more into the Wisdom of the Walk and the program and the book and everything, if somebody was to engage in that, what could be some of the results they might receive by going through some of the work that you do?
Yes. First of all, I believe very highly in connection. In this day and age, we are drastically craving connection, but it's connection with like-minded people that are on a healing journey themselves, not a support group. We want you to be able to take those deep steps to start rising above those experiences in your life. So how better to do that than with other women that have already been doing that in their lives. So we will be doing, besides the book coming out on the 11th and the 12th, it will be available on Amazon as well as ebook platforms. But we will be doing a live online workshop with these 12 women and myself in June. And then we will be doing a retreat where you can come and actually interact with us with your stories so that you can start evolving in that deep dive of the life story you were meant to tell.
And as you work with all of these women, moving through, sharing the life stories that they're meant to tell for them, what do you see as some of the greatest transformations they go through?
Oh, goodness. I think one of the things that was so profound for me in this book was there were women, and you will be reading their stories, they've never told anyone.
Mhm.
And so for them, they truly laid it out. And we worked with them for the last 5 to 6 months on unveiling one layer at a time to be able to tell that story in a
Mhm.
way that brought them the healing and peace that they so needed and desired.
Mhm.
So part of it is the vulnerability.
Mhm.
And then knowing that the people that you're sharing that story with have your best interest, have
Yeah.
your heart in their hand, and
Mhm.
giving those moments of comfort with each other has been very profound for the women involved.
Mhm.
Some are launching other things in their life that they never thought they would be doing, opening up nonprofits or expanding a desire to go speak on stage now and
Mhm.
share how God has healed much of the trauma that they have lived through in their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. That is just amazing too, because I think a lot of times we hold on to the past or hold on to the trauma because we think that that's what defines us. But really, I think it's in the releasement of the trauma, recognizing you're in the present moment to really create that future that you're looking for.
Oh,
So, as you take people through that journey, for you, I always talk about a silver lining gift. And so I know as a healer, one of my greatest things is really seeing people living their life on purpose. So for you, you're called to do this work. You've been doing this work in all different ways, even, on TV, in media. So what is the silver lining gifts that you see really with your clients, the people you work with, and yourself?
ooh. I would say my own being able to be here on this earth at this time. I am an ambassador. And
Mhm.
my gift has always been to share love and acceptance with others, no matter where they are on their journey, and to understand them. It's to be able to take people one more step further in their
Mhm.
life than they ever thought that they could.
Mhm.
I also know that it's being able to have people see that there is a greater power in this world, in this universe, that is so much bigger, that is really supporting them and believing in them, and that they were placed here at this time,
Yeah.
and that part of the journey is being called to action and releasing the steamer trunk of difficulties and challenges behind you to accept the call and to walk forwards in it. There is nothing more amazing than that.
Yeah. I truly, truly believe you because I'm right in alignment with that. And I think those are some of the greatest gifts we get to experience here with each other, and going through those transformations. All right. How can people get in touch with you and learn more about you? And I know you have something to offer. So share all of that with us.
Of course. I would suggest that you do two things. One is to go to walkwithlori.com. You will see a variety of different things there to pique your curiosity. You can also get our book online as well at walkwithlori.com/wisdom on walk. That way you'll kind of be in the know. But following me on Instagram, with Walk with Lori, if you feel so inclined to DM me, I would love to offer a 15-minute insight call with me. And yes, we can do a lot in 15 minutes. And I would be glad to offer that for free for your listeners today. 15-minute insight call, Walk with Lori, DM me, and let's get you walking and gaining that wisdom.
All right. I love it. And everybody, we're going to put all of that information into the show notes for you all. And so all you have to do is just go into the notes, click, and you can just get connected right to Lori. So Lori, last words of wisdom from you today.
I would say make sure that you know who you are. Establish the most brilliant I am in your life, and release the I am nots, because they don't serve you, and walk in your purpose.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Walk in your purpose. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you so much, Donna. Have a great day.
You too. And all right. And everyone out there listening, just go create that beautiful day.